Welcome back, Crammers, to question 1. The table gives the total area of the forest in each of 6 countries. Which of these 6 countries has the least total area of the forest? First, let's look at the thousands. So here we have 92,000, 5,000, 2,000, 5,000, 3,000, and 4,000. We can see that 2,000 is the least area, and that goes to El Salvador. Moving on, write down the value of 4 in 92,410. So we can write here ones, tens, and hundreds. Since 4 is in the hundreds, we can simply write 400. Two of the 6 countries each have a total area of 5,000 kilometers squared when rounded to the nearest thousand. Write down the name of the 2 countries. So first off, I can see here which values are close to 5,000. So here we have 5,871, we have 51,050, and 49,010. When rounding up or down, we simply follow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 to 9 we round up, 1 to 4 we round down. So here Denmark, see after the 1000s is 8. And since 8 is between 5 and 9, we round up. So our answer here is 6,000. So this is wrong. Here we have 51,000. 1 is between 1 and 4, so we round down. This is 5,000, so this is correct. 49,000. Since 9 is between 5 and 9, we round up. And this is also 5,000, so this is our other answer. We have the Bahamas and Syria. Write down the number 3,371 in words. So remember, we have ones, we have tens, we have 100s, and we have 1,000s. Moving on from the left, we can see here we have a 3. So first off, we write 3, and then it's in the thousands area. So I can write here 1,000. Then moving on, we have 3 in the hundreds. So we write again 3, and then 100, and we have 7 in the 10. So we write 70, and we have 1 in 1. So we simply write 1, and that is our final answer. Question 2. The diagram shows 3 points A, B, C on a grid. Write down the points of point A. So we can see here that point A, we always write down the x coordinate first, which is on the horizontal. So we count 0, 1, 2, 3. So x is 3, and y is the vertical. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4. Moving on, write down point B. So point B is over here. Again, we always go on the x-axis. 0, -1, and we go here. So x is -1, and the y-axis is 1, 2. So you simply write 2. D is on the point such that ABCD is a rhombus. On the grid, draw with a cross the point D. Label this point D. Okay, so a rhombus is another word for a diamond, and a diamond actually has a symmetrical line down the middle. What does that mean? That means the distance from B to A is equal from the distance of A to D. So D will be right over here. I'm gonna erase this, and this is D. Find the coordinates of the midpoint of AB. Okay, now when trying to find the midpoint, we can simply follow the equation x2 plus x1 over 2, y2 plus y1 over 2. So x2, we have A, and then we already found it as 3, so we can simply write 3, and then B is -1 plus -1 over 2. And for y, point A is 4 plus 2. Plus 2 divided by 2. So our final answer is 3 minus 1, which is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And that's our final answer. Question 3. Write down the mathematical name of this 3D shape. We can see that it has two circular faces and it is elongated, which is a cylinder. Here is a solid prism. How many edges has the prism? So edge is when two faces connect. So this here is an edge. So we can count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's our final answer. Question 4. Here are the salary in thousands of dollars of 7 different people. Find the mode of the salary. So the mode is the most common. So we can simply find any value that is repeated the most. So 21 is only repeated once. So we can write here 1. 28 is only repeated once. So here it's 1. 29 is only once. 32 is only once. 34 is twice. And 39 is once. Since 34 is the most common, we simply write that down here. Find the range of the salaries. So range is equal to the largest minus the smallest. And the largest is given to us as 39. And the smallest is given to us as 21. That means our range is 39 minus 21 or 18. And that's our final answer. Question 5. Work out 4/5 of 80. Now when it's asking a fraction of a whole number, we simply multiply. So 4 over 5 times 80. Now I can see that 80 is divisible by 5. That gives us 16. And 4 times 16 is simply 64. Write 9 over 20 as a decimal. Okay, now I can simplify this to 10 times 2. Since 10 times 2 is 20, and we'll still get the same answer. 9 divided by 2 is simply 4.5. We write the same denominator as 10. And whenever dividing by 10, we simply move the decimal to the left by 1. So we get 0.45. Here are 4 fractions. When written as a decimal, one of these fractions will give a terminating decimal. Write down the fraction. What does it mean by terminating decimal? Well, firstly, 1 divided by 3 repeats. So this does not terminate whatsoever. So I know this is wrong. We can use the calculator to find the other fractions. 2 divided by 9 repeats infinitely, so this is wrong. Let's see. 4 divided by 11 repeats infinitely, so this is wrong. And finally, we have 3 divided by 8. This does not repeat. This is a terminating decimal. So we write here the same fraction, 3 over 8. Write 11 over 4 as a mixed number in its simplest form. Okay, so the highest multiple of 4 just before 11 is 8. 8 divided by 4 is 2. We simply write the same denominator as 4. And 11 minus 8 is 3. Since we cannot divide this any further, this is the simplest form. 2, 3 over 4. Here's a list of 4 words that can be used to describe numbers: cube, square, prime, negative. Use the word from the list to complete the sentence below correctly. 25 is a blank number. Let's see. Is 25 a cube number? No. Is 25 a prime number? No. Prime numbers are numbers that are only divisible by 1 and themselves, but 25 is divisible by 5. And is it negative? No, it is not. That leaves us with square. Question 6. Here is a square. The perimeter of the square is 24 centimeters. The shaded rectangle below is made from 4 of these squares, so that means they are all equal. Work out the perimeter of the shaded rectangle. So perimeter is everything on the outside. Notice how if I find the perimeter of the rectangle, I'm not counting the sides inside. Okay? Now, it's a perfect square. So that means this side is equal to this side, which is equal to this side, which is equal to this side. And since the perimeter is 24, I can simply write 24 divided by 4 gives us one side, which is 6. Now that I know that one of the sides is equal to 6, I know that one of the sides is equal to one of the sides here, So all I have to do is count how many sides there are here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we simply write 6 times 10, which is 60 centimeters as our perimeter. Question 7, write the ratio 42 is to 96 in its simplest form. So that means we have to find the lowest common factor. Here I can see that 42 and 96 are both multiples of 6. So I can simply divide both sides by 6. Now 42 divided by 6 is 7. And we can get our calculator. 96 divided by 6 gives us 16. So 7 is to 16. Notice how they no longer have any common factor. So that means this is the simplest form. So we write that as is. 7 is to 16. There are only apples and pears in the fruit basket, so that the number of apples to the number of pears is 4 to 11. What fraction of fruit in the basket is pears? So pears is 11, but it's asking us the fraction of fruit in the basket. So the total number of values in the basket is 4 plus 11, which is 15. So that means here that the fraction of fruit in the basket that's pears is 11 over 15. That's our final answer. Question 8. Daniel is going to print some business cards. Choose this rule to work out the total cost in euro of the business cards. Total cost is equal to price per card times number of cards plus fixed fee. Price per card is 0.14 euros. We can actually write that down here, 0.14. Fixed fee is 25 euros. Danielle is going to print 350 business cards. We can write here 350. Write down the total cost of printing the business cards. We can see here that total cost is equal to price per card, which is 0.14, times number of cards, which is 350, plus 25. We can actually put this into a calculator to find our answer. 0.14 times 350 plus 25 gives us 74 euros as our final answer. Question 9. Here is a quadrilateral. Work out the value of x. Now we know that the sum of all the interior angles in a quadrilateral with 4 sides is 360 degrees. And we can see here that some values are missing, which is x and x. Since we have the other values, we can actually find this out as 92 plus 44 plus x is equal to 360. Now we can actually simplify this further by combining the x into 2x, and we can bring 92 and 44 to the other side. So this is equal to 360 minus 92 minus 44. And then on top of all of that, to isolate x, we divide both sides by 2, divide by 2, and we can find our final answer using a calculator. 360 minus 92 minus 44, then divided by 2, gives x as 112 degrees. Give a reason for your answer. The only reason we were able to find x is because the sum of all the angles in a quadrilateral equal 360 degrees. And that's our final answer. Question 10. Tabisa is organizing a trip to the theater. The cost of a ticket of each adult is 11.75 pounds. The total cost of the tickets for the 12 adults plus the 5 children is 181 pounds. Deduce the ticket cost for one child. Okay, so here we can see that each adult pays 11.75. So the total cost of tickets is 12 adults. Each pay 11.75, plus we can see here that 5 children have to pay a certain value. We don't know what that value is, so we'll write that as x is equal to 181 pounds. So here we can actually simplify. 12 times 11.75 gives us 141. plus 5x is equal to 181. We can bring 141 to the other side, so we get 5x is equal to 181 minus 141. Therefore, 5x is equal to 40. Then we divide both sides by 5 to isolate x. Therefore, x is equal to 8 pounds. So each child pays 8 pounds per ticket. That's our final answer. Question 11. At school each week, Gabriella has to play a sport on Monday and a sport on Thursday. The table shows the sports from which she can choose on Monday and the sports from which she can choose on Thursday. Write down all the possible combination of these sports that Gabriella can play in 1 week. So what that means is Gabriella can play tennis on Monday, she can play volleyball on Thursday, or she can play badminton on Thursday, or she can play tennis again on Thursday. So we can simply write this as she can play tennis on Monday and volleyball on Thursday. She can play tennis on Monday or badminton on Thursday. She can play tennis on Monday or tennis on Thursday. We do that all over again if she decides to play netball on Monday. So we simply have netball and volleyball, netball and badminton, netball and tennis. Now all over again if she chooses hockey on Monday. We have hockey and volleyball, hockey and badminton, hockey and tennis. Question 12. Marie is going to make some flapjacks. Here are 4 of the ingredients that she will use. What percentage of these 4 ingredients is oats? Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. So to find the percentage of oats, it's simply oats over total times 100. Let's find that out. So oats is 330 grams all over the total. So we add everything 175 plus 175 plus 175 plus 330. We multiply by 100. We can put this into calculator to find our answer. 330 over 175 plus 175 plus 175 plus 330, which is then multiplied by 100. We get 38.59. This is equal to 38.59%, but round to 3 significant figures. When rounding, we follow 1, 2, 3, 4. We round down, but 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we round up. Now, since the value after the third figure is 9, that means we have to round up. So our final answer is 38.6%. Question 13. The diagram shows a solid wooden cuboid. The cuboid measures 65 centimeters by 35 centimeters by 45 centimeters. The machine cuts the cuboid to make cubes. Each cube has edges of length 5 centimeters. Work at the maximum number of cubes that can be made from the cuboid. So what does this mean? That means that cuboids are being cut out of this cuboid. So if we're able to find the total volume, we'll write this total volume, and we divide it by the volume of, let's call this new cuboid, total of new cuboid, we can then find how many were made. So let's put this as quantity. So to find the initial volume of the whole cuboid, we have to multiply the length by the width by the height. So you get 65 times 35 times 45. Now we have to find the volume of the new cube. The new cube has edges of length 5 centimeters. So what does this mean? This means that each length is 5, the height is 5, the width is 5, and the length is 5. So 5 times 5 times 5 is simply 5 cubed. So we simply divide by 5 cubed, and we can put this into a calculator to find our answer. 65 times 35 times 45 divided by 5 cubed. This gives us 819 total cubes made. Question 14. Anjali, Ravina, and Sandeep were the 3 candidates in an election. Heidi draws a pie chart for the number of votes received by each of the 3 candidates. So a pie chart is a perfect circle. The angle in the pie chart for the number of votes received by Anjali is 90 degrees. So we can write here 90 degrees. It's always best to use a protractor when available. The angle in the pie chart for the number of votes received by Ravina is 160 degrees. That's just less than 180. This is Ravina. Okay. Ravina received 400 votes. We can write that here. 400 votes. Work out the value of votes Sandeep received. Okay. So if we're able to find the angle of how many votes Sandeep received, we're able to find how many votes he received in the election. So let's get started. We see here that Ravina is 160 degrees and she received 400 votes. What does that mean? So 160 degrees is equivalent to 400 votes. If we divide both sides by 160, that means a single angle in this pie chart is equal to 2.5 votes. So the total angle for Sandeep is 360 for a good circle, 360 minus Ravina, which is 160, minus Anjali, which is 90. We can use a calculator to find our answer. 360 minus 160 minus 90. This gives us 110 degrees. Now we know that 1 degree is equal to 2.5. So our answer of 110 multiplied by 2.5 should give us the total amount of votes. So 110 times 2.5 gives us 275 votes. 275 votes, which means Sandeep wins the election. Question 15. Solve 5c is equal to 15. To isolate c, we simply divide both sides by 5. Divide by 5. This cancels out. C is equal to 3. Expand x into 8 minus x. Always remember that when multiplying polynomials, you multiply to all the integers inside the bracket. So x times 8 is 8x, and x times negative x is negative x squared. Why? Because when multiplying powers, we simply add them. T is equal to 5m minus 6n. Work out the value of t when m is 4.2 and n is negative 2.5. So we simply substitute it into the equation. T is equal to 5 into m, which is given as 4.2, minus 6 times n, which is negative 2.5. We can use a calculator to find our answer. 5 times 4.2, 5 times 4.2 minus 6 times negative 2.5. This gives us 36. T is equal to 36. Make G the subject of K is equal to 2G plus T. So we can see that G here is stuck to 2. How do we remove that 2? We can't divide by 2 straight away. We have to bring T to the other side. And when bringing something to the other side, we flip its sign. So now it's K minus T is equal to 2G. Now we can divide by 2. This cancels out. So we simply get G is equal to K minus T divided by 2. Question 16. Show that 3 over 8 divided by 27 over 32 is equal to 4 over 9. Now remember, when dividing by a fraction, we can simply find its reciprocal and multiply instead. So 3 over 8 multiplied by 27 over 32 flipped is simply 32 over 27 is equal to 4 over 9. Now we can find the factors between 3 and 27. The highest common factor is 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 27 divided by 3 is 9. Same for 8 and 32. The highest common factor is 8. So 8 divided by 8 is 1. And 32 divided by 8 is 4. Now we multiply as is. So we get 4 times 1 over 9 times 1 is equal to 4 over 9. 4 times 1 is 4 over 9 times 1 is 9, which is equal to 4 over 9. Show that 5 over 6 minus 3 over 8 is equal to 11 over 24. Now, we cannot subtract straight away. We have to find the same denominator for both of these, finding the highest common multiple. The highest common multiple of 6 and 8 is 24. Now, we have to convert these fractions in order to subtract. So, 24 divided by 6 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. We copy the subtraction sign. 24 divided by 8 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. This is equal to 11 over 24. 20 minus 9 is 11. We simply write the same denominator, and this is equal to 11 over 24. Thanks for question 17. The accurate scale drawing shows the position of college C and a train station S. Scale is 1 centimeter represents 500 meters. Find the bearing of S from C. So what does that mean? Most students would simply take the angle here, but it's actually the college to the train station. When we take the bearing, we always find the clockwise direction starting from the initial, which is S, and we go clockwise to the final, which is C. So it's actually this angle. Now we have to use a protractor here, and here I got 140 degrees. For Charles, one step is equal to 0.44 meters. Work out the number of steps Charles walks when he goes in a straight line from the college to the train station. Give your answer correct to the nearest whole number of steps. So here we can see that 1 centimeter represents 500 meters. And I measured this to be 6 centimeters. So we simply multiply 6 centimeters times 500. And we divide by 0.44 to find the number of steps. And we can put this into calculator to find our answer. 6 times 500 divided by 0.44, we get 6,818.18. 6,818.18. However, the answer has to be correct to the nearest whole number of steps. Since this is the nearest whole number, we have to look at the value after that, which is 1. And we follow the rules 1, 2, 3, 4. Round down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Round up. And since 1 is between 1 and 4, we simply round down. So our final answer is 6,818 steps. Question 18. A tin contains tea bags with a choice of 4 different flavors of tea. The 4 different flavors are Assam, Darjeeling, Nilgiri, or Riz. Sarah takes at random a tea bag from the tin. The table shows each of the probabilities that the flavor of the tea bag is Assam, Darjeeling, or Riz. Work out the probability that the flavor of tea Sarah takes is Nilgiri. Okay, so we know that 1 whole is equivalent to 100%. Given that we have all the other probabilities, we can subtract this from 1 to get the probability that it is Nilgiri. So 1 minus 0.38 minus 0.24 minus 0.16. And we can use a calculator here. 1 minus 0.38 minus 0.24 minus 0.16 gives us 0.22. So that is our probability, 0.22. Work out the probability that the flavor of the tea Sarah takes is either Darjeeling or Riz. So what does that mean? That means we have to add Darjeeling and Riz. So Darjeeling is 0.24 and Riz is 0.16. So when we add that together, we simply get 0.4. Question 19. Mary saves for a holiday each year. In 2020, she saved a total of $720, but in 2021, each month, she saved $78. The total amount Mary saved in 2021 was P% more than the total amount she saved in 2020. Work out the value of P. Before we move on, we have to find the total for 2021. It's given that each month she saves $78, so we simply multiply this by however many months there are in a year, which is 12. We can use a calculator here. For 78 times 12, we get 936. Now that we have both totals, we can simply use the equation new minus old divided by old times 100. So the new amount is 936 minus the old amount is 720 divided by the old amount 720 times 100 should give us P. Let's use our calculator here. 936 minus 720 divided by 720 times 100 gives us 30. So P is 30%. Roberto is going on holiday. He has two coupons that will save him money on this holiday, coupon A and coupon B. For Roberto's holiday, the cost of accommodation is $1,600. The cost of flight is $800. Roberto can only use one of the coupons and he wants to save as much as he can. Which of the two coupons should he use? Show you working clearly. So that means whichever coupon saves the most will be the coupon that Roberto wants to choose. Let's see here. Coupon A, 18% off the cost of accommodation. That's the same as 18 over 100. So we can simply write that as 0.18 off the cost of accommodation. So we multiply this value with the cost of accommodation, which is 1,600 times 0.18. But don't forget he's also paying for cost of flights. So we have to add the cost of flights, which is 800. Therefore, coupon A will save bracket 1,600 times 0.18, close the bracket, plus 800. That gives us 1,088. A saves $1,088. And now we can do coupon B. 12.5% off the total cost of accommodation and flights. So 12.5% off is the same as 12.5 over 100, or that's simply 0.125 off the total cost of accommodation and flights. So we have to combine the accommodation and flights first. So 1,600 plus 800 into 0.125. And we can use our calculator here. 1,600 plus 800 multiplied by 0.125. That gives us $300. Now, we have to choose which coupon saves the most money. And looking here, I can see that A is in the thousands, while B is only in the hundreds. So therefore, that means A is our answer. And we can write here, Roberto uses coupon A. Question 20. Solve for y plus 5 is greater than 12. We simply treat the inequality sign as an equal sign, and we bring 5 to the other side, which makes this negative. 12 minus 5. 4y is greater than 7. So we simply divide by 4 on both sides to cancel out, and y is greater than 7 over 4. Solve 6x minus 5 is equal to 4x minus 7 divided by 2. Show clear algebraic working. So first off, I can see that we can multiply by 2 on both sides to get rid of this denominator. So 2 times 6x minus 5 is equal to 4x minus 7. This simplifies to 12x minus 10 is equal to 4x minus 7. Then we bring all the like terms to their agreed upon sides. So that means 12x minus 4x is equal to 10 minus 7. 12x minus 4x is 8x. And 10 minus 7 is 3. We simply divide by 8 on both sides. This cancels out. Therefore, x is equal to 3 over 8. Question 21. The diagram shows a regular octagon and a regular pentagon. Work out the size of angle x. So firstly, if we can find angle ABC, and we subtract that from angle ABI, we can then find angle CIB. And considering this is an isosceles triangle, that means this is x, and this is also x. So if we subtract angle CBI from 180, then divided by 2, we'll simply find x. Okay, let's get started. The sum of the interior angles for a polygon is 180 times n minus 2. Given that an octagon has 8 sides, we can simply write 180 into 8 minus 2. And we have to get only one angle. So we can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We only have to find one. So we can divide by 8. And let's use our calculator here. 180 times 8 minus 2, that's simply 6, divided by 8 gives us 135. 135. So what that means is that this whole angle here is 135. Okay, now if we can find the angle ABI, we can then subtract it from 135. So let's use the sum of the interior angles equation again. 180 into, now we're finding this angle, so that has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. 5 minus 2, that's simply 180 into 3. Then I only want to find one angle, so I divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Divide it by 5, and we can use our calculator here. 180 times 3 divided by 5. That gives us 108. 108. So if I can clean this up a little bit, we then subtract 135 from 108. Then we will get this angle. Okay, so we get 135 minus 108, that gives us 27. So that means this angle is 27. And since this is an isosceles triangle, this is also angle x. So that means we can just use the sum of the interior angles for a triangle, which is 180 minus 27 must equal 2x. So we simply divide by 2 on both sides. This cancels out. Therefore, that means x is given as 180 minus 27 divided by 2. That gives us 76.5. X is 76.5 degrees. X is 76.5 degrees. Question 22. Shane invests $7,200 for 3 years in a saving account. He gets 2.5% per year compound interest. How much money will Shane have at the end of the 3 years, giving your answer to the nearest dollar? Okay. Now the formula for compound interest is principal amount is equal to initial amount times 1 plus interest rate, which is 2.5 over 100 to the power of n. So n is how many times per year? This is only once per year. So this is the power of 1 times how many years it goes on for. So this is 3. We can then simplify this further to p is equal to, so the initial amount is 7,200 into 2.5 over 100 is 0.025, and we add 1, so that's 1.025, and 1 times 3 is simply 3. Now we can put this into a calculator and find our answer. We start off with 7,200 times 1.025, and we cube that. We get 7753.6. 7753.6, and we round to the nearest dollar or the nearest whole number when dealing with rounding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 to 4 we round down, 5 to 9 we round up. Since 6 is between 5 and 9, we simply round up, so p is equal to 7754. So that means Shane saves $7,754. Question 23. Write down the value of x to the power of 0. No matter how big it is, anything to the power of 0 is simply equal to 1. Given that 2 to the power of negative 3 times 2 to the power of 9 is equal to 2 to the power of n, find the value of n. So when multiplying powers, we simply add them. So 2 to the power of negative 3 times 2 to the power of 9 is the same as 2 to the power of negative 3 plus 9 should give us 2 to the power of n. That means negative 3 plus 9 is 6 is equal to 2n. And since we only have to find n, we simply write the power, which is 6. Given that 7 to the power of 206 times 7 to the power of m divided by 7 to the power of 214 is equal to 7 to the power of negative 3, find the value of m. Again, when multiplying powers, you add. When dividing powers, you subtract. Let's see. So 7 to the power of 206 plus m divided by 7 to the power of 214, that's the same as subtracting. Subtract 214 is equal to 7 to the power of negative 3. We can forget the base here for now. So that means we can bring 206 and negative 214 to the other side. So that means m is equal to negative 3. We bring negative 214 to the other side, so that's positive 214. And we bring positive 206 to the other side, that gives us negative 206. Then we can put this into a calculator to find our answer. M is equal to negative 3 plus 214 minus 206. M is equal to negative 3 plus 214 minus 206. That gives us 5. Question 24. Write down an equation of the straight line with the gradient negative 3, which passes through the coordinates 0 and 5. Now, the equation for a straight line is y is equal to mx plus c. M being the gradient, x being the x coordinate, and y being the y coordinate. Let's input that so we can find c and give our final answer. So if y is 5, m is negative 3, this is multiplied by 0 plus c. Anything multiplied by 0 is just 0, so 5 is equal to 0 plus c. Then that means 5 is equal to c. Now that we know what c is, we input it into the original equation and we leave y and x as is. So that means our final answer is y is equal to the gradient, which is negative 3. We put x plus, and remember to add c, which is 5. Show by shading on the grid the region defined by all three of the inequalities. Label the region R. Okay, now when dealing with inequalities, we simply follow this rule. Greater than equal to means up or to the right, and less than equal to means down or to the left. X is less than equal to 6, so if we follow this, we follow the x-axis, we go to 6, and we draw a line perfectly perpendicular up. Use a ruler if possible, and less than equal to, that means it goes to the left. So we can put an arrow here for now so we can remember. Y is greater than equal to 2. So we write here on the y-axis, on the 2, perfectly perpendicular as shown, and greater than is up. So we put an arrow up. Y is less than equal to x plus 1. So what does that mean? That means when we input a value for x, it changes y. So we can start off with y is less than equal to, let's start off with x is 0. 0 plus 1. That makes y less than equal to 1. So that means when x is 0, y is 1. We can put a cross here. Then we can put a higher value such as y is less than equal to, let's put 8 here, plus 1. That means y is less than equal to 9. So we simply look for where x is 8 and where y is 9. We put a cross there and we simply connect those lines. And it says less than equal to, so this goes down. Notice how they all point towards this triangle. Therefore, that means this is region R. Question 25. A scientist is investigating the weight of 50 tigers. Here's some information about these tigers. The mean weight of all 50 tigers is 218 kilograms. Work out the mean weight of the Bengal tigers. So we can see that the mean weight of 50 tigers are given and the mean weight of Siberian tigers are given. How does this help us? Well, if we can find the total weightage of the 50 tigers, subtract the total weightage of the Siberian tigers, we can then find the total weightage of the Bengal tigers. So let's see here, the mean weight. Now, mean is simply equal to total divided by quantity. And if we times both sides by quantity, this cancels out. And we get total is equal to quantity times mean. So let's see here. 50 tigers times 218. So 218 times 50. Now we have to subtract the total amount of Siberian tigers weightage. So that's 22 times 260. This will give us the mean weight for all the Bengal tigers. Okay, so let's use a calculator here. 218 times 50. That's 10,900. And then we subtract 22 times 260. That gives us 5,180 is equal to 5,180. However, this is only the total weight of the Bengal tigers. we want to find the mean. So to find the mean, again, mean is equal to total divided by quantity. So we simply divide this total by how many Bengal tigers there are, which is 28. Therefore, our mean is given to us as 5,180 divided by 28. It's 185 kilograms. Question 26. In the diagram, ABC is a right angled triangle and DEF is a semicircular arc. Semicircles are half of a circle. In the triangle ABC, BC is given to us as 24 centimeters. Angle ABC is 90 degrees. Angle BCA is 30 degrees. The points D and F lie on AC so that DF is the diameter, they're talking about this, of the semicircular arc DEF. So that means this is the circumference. The radius of the semicircular arc is 3 centimeters. So the radius is just 3. Okay. Work out the length A, F, E, D, C. Give your answer correct to significant figures. Okay, so how do we figure this out? Well, firstly, I can see that we have a right angle triangle here. And if we have a right angle, we can actually use SOHCAHTOA to find the length of the total hypotenuse. Then we can subtract the diameter and then add the total circumference of the semicircle. So let's do that. Now we can see here that we are given 30 degrees as our angle. We are not given the opposite, so anything with opposite goes away. And we're left with ka. So we write here cos, the degrees is 30, is equal to adjacent by hypotenuse, so 24 over hypotenuse. We don't know what hypotenuse is yet, so we can simply multiply both sides by h, and then divide both sides by cos 30. Divide by cos 30. So this cancels out, and that simply means h is equal to 24 over cos 30. We can find this out using our calculator. We get 24 divided by cos 30, which is 16 root 3. So hypotenuse is 16 root 3, but we don't want the whole hypotenuse. We simply want AF and DC. So we can actually remove the diameter. The diameter is twice the radius, and since the radius is 3, that means the diameter is 2 times 3, which is 6. So that means we have 16 root 3, okay, minus 6 gives us the length AF. It gives us the length AF and DC. But now we need the circumference of this semicircular arc. So how do we find circumference? The formula is 2 pi r. Now notice how it's a semicircular arc. That means half of it. So we simply multiply by 1/2. And notice how the 2's cancel out. So all we have is pi r. So we simply add this with pi r, and r happens to be 3. And this will actually give us our final answer when we put this into the calculator. So we have bracket 16 root 3 minus 6, close the bracket, plus 3 into pi. That gives us 31.13. So we can write here 31.13 to two significant figures. So we see here that it's 1 and we round down. So that means our final answer, the length of AFEDC, is 31 centimeters. Thanks for watching. Cram, then scram.